Too late. I started.
Dave did ping. Dave did ping several hours ago.
Mm-hmm.
And he might be at work or doing something because, I mean, last I heard he was picking up a job as well, so.
Mm.
I dropped the gummy worm.
What are you eating?
Gummy worm.
Oh, gummy worms.
Gummy worm.
Gummy worms.
Get back to
Are
the
they
yellow
the Black
magic.
Forest ones?
Albanese.
Are they the Black Forest gummy worms?
Yeah, this is an Albanese brand.
No.
Nah, he's got sugar-free gummy bears. He's gonna shit himself in 5 minutes.
Give me a minute.
I was gonna say that the Black Forest ones are the best ones.
Side note, have you read the patch notes for Helldivers 2?
I know there's a fuck ton of buffs and a lot of
It's so good.
a lot of changes.
It's so good.
3 of
I
them that are-
haven't been on there in a couple of weeks, so
Yeah. Well, hold on. 4 of them that I absolutely love that they changed because they're kind of underutilized. The orbital Gatling gun, increased rate of fire by 25%, increased rounds per salvo from 30 to 60, increased armor pen, can damage heavy armored units, decreased cooldown from 60 to 70 seconds. So that's nice. The orbital precision strike, decreased cooldown from 100 to 90, decreased spawn / call-in time from 4 to 2 seconds. The orbital airburst had 20 seconds removed off of its cooldown. And then for the Eagle 110 millimeter rocket pods, they preface, while these changes may look like a straight up nerf, that is not the intention. Please see the blog post for more information. Improved targeting and increased projectile armor penetration now does 100% damage to heavily armored targets instead of 50%. Decreased projectile damage from 600 to 250 to compensate for the improved targeting and extra damage from the increased armor penetration. Decreased explosion armor penetration. Explosion can no longer damage heavy armored enemies. And those are just 4 of the more underutilized stratagems. Like another one that they changed, the standard machine gun sentry, reduced cooldown from 180 seconds to 120. But they buffed every machine gun, basically all the fucking AR platforms, and they even changed the Eruptor too. The Eruptor's total damage went from 420 to 570 per shot.
yeah, there's a ton of buffs and changes in there.
2 that made people really happy is super samples now spawn at difficulty 6. The reason for this change is that we feel that the existence only on difficulty +7 for some players to play the game on a harder difficulty than they wanted to comfortably play on.
No
we do, however,
shit.
still want a gating of them, but less punishing one. The next one. This one makes me happy because it made no sense prior. The Siege Artillery stratagem is no longer blocked by stratagem jammers or ion storms. It is available after the mission timer ends and the destroyer leaves close orbit.
Yeah, I mean, it just made sense, like, logistically, but, like, they just didn't fit in the mechanic in until they fixed it, so.
But they also changed how certain enemies behave. Bile Spewer and Nursing Spewers. Spewers will now get slowed if they lose their legs. Spewer Puke now applies the acid effect. Spewer Puke can now only damage Helldivers up to 4 times per second. And the Helldiver cannot take damage multiple times from the same projectile. This should reduce the instances where you are instantly killed by it.
Why does that not do that?
And the Bio Titan also got that same change. And they also changed the spear targeting, so it actually works now properly.
No.
Yeah.
Ah!
By the way, can we go ahead and start?
In 57 seconds. 55, 54.
I'm ready.
Matrix.
We have an ad break incoming.
Oh shit.
No, we start during the ad.
Okay.
They don't get to see the intro unless they pay for it. Man,
Yeah.
that's some Amazon type shit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna be disappointing because, like, I think I'm the only one who's paying for anything on this
I
channel.
was gonna say, they just subscribe.
I am currently the only financial backer of this channel.
Okay, I gotta mute everybody else except for Dave for the intro.
David's the only one allowed to talk from now on.
Mhm.
Even when he asks us questions, we don't respond.
Well, no,
He's just gonna
no,
vibe-
you're
he's
forced to
gonna vibe Our
respond.
actions.
Yeah.
Get the vibe check.
Yeah, you want the dice to decide your fate that quickly? I mean, shit.
The Arcana is the means by which all is
Oh
revealed.
my god. Yay. There we go. Now, if you want to see this without commercials and you want to see the intro, I'm kidding. I'm not gonna make. Oh my god.
Please subscribe.
If you have any complaints, that's our complaint department speaking. Talk to him.
Help.
But anyway, if anybody wants to catch any past episodes, they can find them here, along with all these wonderful people that are in here who do stream and do other things. And you can see sort of our podcast, Heximus, who did the Kerbo for me for our one charity event, and I've held on to ever since because I just think it's adorable. So it still
Yeah,
doesn't,
it's very cool.
it doesn't beat Dave's Ghost though. That's the
We're
Well,
allowed to
you-
do things?
Ghost,
well,
Dave Ghost.
Mine is a simple coloring Photoshop and just with a
Dave.
little with a
Dave and the
cutout.
Ghost.
I know. Yeah, it took me a while to do.
Yeah, my little ghost Kerbo.
His dances and
Little
moves.
ghosty.
So when he talks, it moves.
Yeah.
So
Little
yes,
ghosty.
if you want any of that, you just click the links there, or you can just in the Twitch, you can actually just click the links and it'll take you over there. You'll find all this garbage there. I mean, stuff there. I'm not helping myself out.
And digging
Eh.
yourself a deeper hole there, bud.
What? I was in a trench and I fell into the hole that just happened to be there.
No, you dug yourself a hole.
I'm not admitting to that I did or did not dig a hole.
Stay in the box. No. Stay in the box.
I want to go back in the box. I'm sad. It's too bright.
The precious please lets us out.
I had
Light burns.
The princess please, precious.
real quick before we get started. I have a Fallout 76 question.
No.
Oh boy.
And it's
Okay,
just an
welcome
opinion.
to Fallout 76. Now we went from
Yes. No, I'm trying to decide on which bundle to get
that one.
because I like that 50 cal skin, but the Fallout or one up here, where did it go?
Here's my crinkling
I-
plastic bag.
Swear to God, it was just here.
It could be one time over.
And scary
I
dice
heard
roll.
dice rolling. I'm scared.
Well, I'm just adjusting everything and
Oh,
moving stuff in
that
my
what we
tray,
call
so-
it.
Hey guys. So, you
that
remember?
Or 50 cal skin.
Do y'all remember me showing some of y'all what I've been getting for my brother's birthday?
No.
Mhm.
And do y'all remember the thing I came across that is a little toilet
Oh
dice
yeah.
timeout? I got that for my brother. I gave it to him. He fucking loved it. Him and his girlfriend both loved it. It's great.
This is what you get. You get to wear the plunger, and you get to stay there. No. You do not get to come out.
You get the plunger, you get the dunce cap.
Yes. You
I
stay
still go
there.
for the armor, the
Shh.
armor smith.
He also really
armor
he
smith
also
one?
ups.
Yeah.
He also absolutely loved the dice that I got him. The ones that I showed y'all.
This one.
That's cool.
He especially loved the Game of Thrones dice that I got for him.
Oh yeah, I mean, if he's a big fan of Game of Thrones, then yeah, he's
Oh
gonna
yeah,
love
like
those dice.
he like I could tell that he liked the smoke ones that I got for him, but his tone and his demeanor changed when he saw the Game of Thrones dice.
You're
Like,
hurting
he was
Jack
like-
like a bitch.
Just, oh, my precious.
My precious.
Can I have some preciouses, please? Please. Give us.
Please, can you give Debbie a sock? Are we gonna start soon?
Yes.
Oh wait, are we supposed to do
let's
that?
continue.
I thought we were talking about Fallout, and then we went into dice and then other stuff.
I think we were talking because of the ad break, but
What's an
Yeah.
ad
Oh
break?
yeah, that's right.
Didn't know how long it was going for. so.
Is it over?
It's
It
been
was
over.
like-
The ad
It
break
was only
over.
it was only 60 seconds.
I don't know how long that is.
Get it started. I'm chopping
Well,
at the
we
bit.
were ready to go until someone decided to talk about Fallout.
Let's
Hey,
go
then you
then.
And then somebody started talking about dice, so it's not all on me.
Let's go. Dave.
All right.
Hey, did anybody hear about that good cake that I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
You know, I heard about that really good place called the Cheesecake Factory.
Oh God, yeah.
Advisor. Should Dave, get it started before somebody else does another rabbit trail.
Oh, he's rolling dice. Oh crap. Oh crap.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Before we start, again, if you want to check out the books for this, velvetfangames.com/DNDestiny. We are not sponsored by them in any way, but we do love to support them because without them, this campaign would not be possible. So, that said, we are gonna go straight into it. So, to kind of recap where everyone's at currently, just kind of going down my list here. So Elias got a message from Ross and is waiting to go on a mission to the moon. So he's waiting on the team to return from their individual quests. Diabla has been learning more about the Ahamkara and has gained access out to the reef in order to gain additional knowledge about the Ahamkara. Ash is currently working on a way to cleanse her thorn and did encounter the Drifter, who told her of a way in order to cleanse the weapon, and at the moment is also waiting for the team to return. Uros is currently with Remy out in the reef, and Theo met with Amelia, gained some additional information, and is currently working to go out to the Deepstone Crypt. Ash is kind of just off doing something we don't. Well, not Ash, excuse me, Singe, Singe is kind of off doing something we don't quite know about yet.
Pyrotechnics.
Pyrotechnics, indeed.
He's doing something to piss me off. I know it.
He's doing something.
I didn't
But-
say where he was doing the
Yeah,
pyrotechnics.
pyrotechnics.
So, either Diablo or Uros, which one of you two would like to go first?
Rock, paper, scissors.
I go first. I'm greedy.
1, 2, 3, shoot.
Scissors?
Rock wins.
Damn
All right,
it.
so Diablo.
Tag, you're it.
Yes.
You have when last we left you, I need to kind of get a little fresh myself because my memory is a bit foggy.
I
Did
met...
we get you out all the way to the reef and you had
Yes, and
discussions with them?
I had a conversation with one of the Corsairs about the Ahamkara, and if I remember correctly,
Mhm.
God Hand, potential curse, and of course my memory is also
Yeah, because
combining
I just
with...
have like little notes that I wrote down from last session, and I should have wrote down more detail on them, but that's on me.
I swore I wrote down more details. I do know that Diablo talked with the Corsair about the Ahamkara and that she wasn't cursed because of declining the wish, because that was one of her main concerns, is that she somehow cursed herself and or the team by declining the Ahamkara's wish.
Mhm.
But there was something else that popped up that if I can't remember if I had this thought on my own or if I spoke it aloud, but it's something that made Diablo realize that she has to be open with the Ahamkara encounter with the rest of the fire team. As well. Oh, yes. As well as ask the fire team for the full story with God Hand. Because apparently the team hid a lot of details. Like, she got the gist of the story, but there's a bunch of details that were not revealed to Diablo
Okay.
that involved God Hand, the Ahamkara.
So you at this point could seek to gain additional information before departing, or you could just make your way back to Earth and start to rendezvous with Elias and other members of the team. Also, you had something else you wanted to do in mind.
I mean, all the information I got, I have already gotten from the Corsair, and mostly, unless,
Well, this is just more like if there were any other questions that you want to ask, this is going to be the time to ask it.
yeah.
So,
I know Diablo doesn't have any more questions because I think she got all the questions answered. Excuse me, that she could, with her talk with the Corsair. I can't really remember if the Corsair suggested a different place to go to, but I think anyways, most of the questions have been answered about the Ahamkara themselves. It's just the rest of the questions that he's being answered about God Hand and the team.
okay. So then, did you want to just make your way back to Earth?
Yes.
Okay.
And she's not going to broach the subject about God Hand until the whole team is back.
Okay.
But she might, if one of the team members is available, she'd be like, hey, I do want to talk to the team about something. Like, it's kind of serious, and I think it's something that relates to what y'all have been dealing with before I came onto the fire team.
Okay. So then at this point, you're just gonna go ahead and make your way back to Earth from this point. So I'm just going to. We gotta go down the list here until everyone's back together. So you are gonna join the waiting group.
Okay.
All right.
Get in the box.
Now!
Bad elevator music in there.
Do 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 do. All right, Uros.
The
So for you, you and Remy have been waiting a little bit, and you've been directed to kind of wait as I'm forgetting their title. God, my brain is just so slow right now. I got coffee too. My brain is just like.
Techions?
Uh,
Techions?
yes, the Techians. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I have it written down, but I don't know if I wrote it right. So
You might not have spelt it right, but you pronounced it right, so that's important.
Okay.
So.
It's
Cool.
the fact that you have spirit that you wrote it down.
Oh, I was supposed
Hey,
to.
at least you're helping me with that, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, I have some notes here, so it's like had to look over.
So, yep, you've been waiting a little bit as the Techians are preparing, and you're not waiting too long before you're eventually brought into this large, almost like dome-like room. Stupid dogs.
No, the feeling.
Yeah, they're yipping again. So, after a little bit of a wait, you and Remy are eventually brought in, and there are 6 Techians in a half circle standing around this central platform in the middle of this room. Remy's just kind of looking at you just a little bit nervously, just like this whole situation seems a bit peculiar. She's never really seen anything like this before. So at this moment, you two are going to be guided to approach and stand in the center of the structure.
Okay. So she's still looking really nervous then, like you said. Okay.
Mm-hmm. How is Uros feeling as he's seeing this?
More, how do I put this? Would be curious, but at the same time, wondering what's going. I guess, how do I put that? What's coming next with this?
I'd like for you to make a perception roll. I want you to.
Oh, I gotta get
No matter what you want.
I gotta get my feet out. Oops, the one thing I didn't do. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Yeah, we didn't do a whole lot of rolling last session because that was mostly role playing.
Sorry. I gotta try to read screen. Perception. That one. I think I hit it.
12. Okay, that's fine. As you're kind of looking around the structure, the Techians, their outfits and their garb, a lot of this, just in the back of your mind, is familiar. And you know that that's going to be a common feeling for you, just given your history, even though you are awoken, you're a guardian, you don't remember your past. So this is it feels a bit nostalgic, but you can't quite get the full grasp of it. Like, you don't know why it feels familiar, but you just know it does. So At this point, you guys are get brought into the center structure.
Kind of turn to Remy a little bit and kind of lean over. You okay?
Yeah, I suppose it's just, I guess I'm more nervous about what we're gonna find.
You're not the only one.
I don't know what to expect really, but if this is gonna help us in some way, then I'm more than willing to do it.
I'll help you any way I can. I still don't know why I would go to the links, like I said, to put the symbol on you, but that wasn't me. That was some other variation, future me, so we're gonna find answers and figure things out.
She just kind of nods a little bit and looks over to the Techians. One of them does kind of step a little forward to you, and you hear in a very kind of soft, somber voice, just, do not be afraid. This is a very painless process. What you will see will be a vision, one that will require interpretation and understanding. We will guide you through this process. And she kind of steps back, and their arms kind of stretch out a little bit, and you begin to see light interconnecting between all of them.
I thought that was a sound effect. I think somebody heard a truck go by.
Sorry, yeah. There's for some reason traffic is really
That
loud.
wasn't me this time, so
Yeah.
I'm actually I was like, wait, I didn't actually hear that
Oh.
myself.
Give me a second. Hang on. I think I know what's
Well, no, I was looking out my window. I'm like, wait, was that me?
Okay.
No, that
My
wasn't a
God.
truck.
I didn't realize the door was still wide open.
No, it's okay. It's
Oops.
okay.
Okay, light interconnecting. Oh boy.
So the air around you starts to become clouded and almost dusty, and the vision around you starts to become obscure. The two of you are, for lack of a better term, just kind of standing at like a massive hollow projector. You're seeing around you in the moment a swirl of stars, until you come into a dark, it's evening time, and you're currently out in a dark field. Or else you're seeing that dark rendition of yourself. He's going through a building. There's a lot of chatter happening outside, but you can't quite understand what's being said. You hear voices, but they sound muffled. You can't understand anything that's being said, but because it just sounds like someone's like covering their mouth.
Is there a way I can get closer?
You have no control over what you're seeing right now.
Listen.
It's what's happening is happening before you and Remy. You're not seeing it through his eyes. This is from a third-person perspective. So you're watching this unfold before you.
Oh.
You see this dark rendition of yourself going through this old castle. It's dark. There's only a few torches lit.
I just say,
The flo-
what am I doing here? Or him. I am so confused with this.
Remy is just kind of standing there, just watching and observing. She's not really saying anything, but she just... It's like watching a movie. She's seeing something for the first time, and she's in the moment. She's just watching it.
Do I
He's
recog-
passing...
Do I
Oh, go ahead.
recognize any parts of this castle so far, or is it just obscure?
In the moment, actually, let's roll for that.
Okay. Where'd my sheet go?
I'm trying to think, what would I have you roll for memory? Let's do a history
Knowledge.
check.
Well,
Yeah,
that would
history
be
or knowledge check.
It would be history, yeah.
Okay, I gotta find it on this sheet because I haven't had to use those in a long time.
I believe that's in either wisdom or intelligence.
I'm just trying to see these. You want history check? Is that right? Or
Yeah, you can do a history or a knowledge, whichever.
Whichever you're better at.
wow, then I'm screwed either way. Did I hit?
I'll say Remy's helping you in the situation, but with the 10, the coloring of the stone is maybe the only thing that seems familiar. The structure that you see this rendition of yourself walking through, it's familiar based on the color of the stone. But in terms of the rooms and the halls that you're seeing him walk through, you don't recognize this.
Okay.
So you see him continue to go through these hallways, and he's making his way downstairs into what you could assume in a place like this might be some sort of a dungeon. And he comes to a large wooden door, and you see him open the door and walk through. And in there sits a young girl wrapped in a gray, tattered garb, hugging her knees as she sits on the floor, just looking down. This rendition of yourself walks in and closes the door behind him. You are the witch to be executed? I'm not here with them, if that's what you're wondering. I'm actually here for something more important. She's unfazed at the moment. I'm looking for something known as a god killer. What you're looking for, that's not a real thing. You see this other rendition of Remy look up at him. Her face is dirtied and tattered. The god killer is not something easily... well, not easily made, and even less likely to be wielded. The dark rendition of Uros kneels down before her. But do you know what exists? I understood that you were here because you were attempting to make one. Is it true? Can you in fact make one? The alternate version of Remy looks down. The only way it can be made is with great sacrifice. To wield the power of a god killer requires great sacrifice. Whoever wields that power... She shakes her head. You don't come back from it. What if I told you there is a way to cheat death? And there is a way to bypass that restriction. She scoffs. You cannot cheat death. That power requires something always be taken. And what is always taken is life. The user's life. It's not worth it. I can promise you this. If you can help me obtain this god power, this god killer, I can help remove you from this place and set you free. How do you propose to set me free? I am to be executed tomorrow. Yes. But if I promise you there is a way out of this, will you help me? The alternate version of Remy kind of stands up and Eros rises up at the same time. Do we have an agreement? Who are you? Just as this version, Eros is saying his name, it's muffled to you. You could hear it, but in the moment that he says his name, it's almost like it's earmuffed to you. Just for the split second. So if there really is a way to cheat death, then I will show you what you need to make the God Killer. She pulls out a piece of cloth from her garb. And it's a kind of a rolled up scroll, and she lays it on the cot and rolls it out. And she begins to draw the circle. Remy is looking more confused because she's seeing herself in a way she never expected. Because to her, she never understood how that marking got onto her back, why it was there. But seeing what's happening here as this scene is unfolding before the both of you, that picture begins to become a little more clear to her. Remy just says to you in a very soft voice, "It was me. It was me."
Mommy,
As the scene continues, you see the ending of her drawing, and it's the exact inscription that is carved along her back. And you see this alternate version hold it up to your dark version. It is this. Your dark version looks confused, but there's just a circle with inscriptions on it. How is this going to kill a god? The alternate version of Remy just smirks. It's not the circle that you need to be concerned with. It's what you would apply it to. And rather, in this case, who you apply it to. It has to be applied to someone with incredible magical power. There's only a few people in the world who are even capable of that. I am among them. But as I said, this requires great sacrifice. And if you promise that this is going to work the way you say it is, I swear this is what we're going to do. And if you can help me achieve this, we can both be free. She hands the circle to him, and he just kind of looks at it, just, so what do I do with this? You must place it upon me. He looks confused, just, how do you mean? She pulls a knife from you, from the alternate version. We don't have much time. You have to be quick, you have to be precise. Even just a little bit off could screw this entire spell up. You understand? Remy is... her hands are a little bit shaky as she's just kind of sitting there watching this unfold.
Dog. Remy, are you okay? I know this is a lot. We're finding things out together.
She starts to cover her face a little bit, and she's pinching her brow. Just... It's like I remember.
I'm looking at her with concern. What do you exactly remember? Other than what we're seeing now, what else do you remember?
Her eyes are kind of darting a little bit back and forth as she's processing all of this. I remember this moment. It's like it's... I don't know. It's like watching some sort of a video, and it's like replaying a memory, and
So what do you think is going on right now? What are you feeling?
I think I had my thoughts of you wrong. I think you came to me looking for a way to kill Godhand,
Yes, it does look
but
like that.
but the only way to obtain that level of power, like she said, required sacrifice, which is starting to explain a lot. It's starting to explain why what happened to me in that fight recently with the Cabal. What happened to me happened. And then from what you've told me before, it's falling into place.
I didn't understand fully myself, other than what my alternate version told me. With his
That's
lamb,
why he told you that he made me. Because he had a hand in this. But the truth of the matter was, I was the one who had that knowledge all along. And I gave it to you.
it looks like we both had a hand in it. Somebody had to do it to make you this. But I haven't done it yet. At least me here yet. And you
The as the scene kind of fades away into the ether, you're kind of left still like standing a bit in just kind of like a bit an ethereal area. Like you're seeing like the stars and everything like kind of like surrounding you, but you're not like back in the same space yet.
So Remy, we have this information for both of us. I wanted to know more myself. I just didn't know how to tell anybody right now about that situation until we met with the Queen, and now we're seeing all this.
Yeah, I suppose I can understand that. I owe you an apology. I maybe got a little angry when I thought you had. You know, I'd rather not. Let's just.
I put my hand on her shoulder. Remy, I thought a lot of things. I didn't know what was going on, and to hear that I may hurt a very good friend because I was needing somebody who could defeat God End. And I was afraid to tell any of you. You and the Queen are the only ones who really know about this. And I'd rather you know. And now we both know what is happening and has happened. And for what reason.
But I guess I'm confused. You already defeated this God Hand, though, right?
Yes, this is where we have more questions now.
So,
Why?
if you've already did that, then how is this future still come to pass if he's supposed to be dead already?
Well, that's the thing. This time stuff seems to have really been messy, and we may or may not have fully defeated him. I don't know. We're finding
So as
out.
you two are having this conversation, one of the Techians kind of mists into existence and steps forward to the both of you. We might be able to impart some additional knowledge. The reason this future still exists is not because of time, but rather from a multiverse. Timelines are a bit not as straightforward as one might think, especially when a branch forms in a specific part of time in which this might be a focal point in which major events occur. This can also branch out into forming its own universe.
So we are not in our universe anymore. We are technically in somebody else's. Or another one, correct?
You you have been brought into a future in which you have already changed the fate of that timeline. The remnants of an older timeline, of mistakes in the past. And you see the Techian turn its head. You can't see her eyes, but you can sense that it's turning to Remy and addressing her more directly. Certain things and certain actions they have been poured into a foundation. And that foundation is immutable, unchangeable. However, with this knowledge, you can still change that fate. However, changing that fate, changing that timeline, should not be your goal in this endeavor. If you seek to reverse this fortune, you would need to go back to the beginning. to where this all truly started. Remy just is confused. And where would that be? The Techian just slowly shakes her head. We do not know. Remy just looks to you, Uros. To the beginning. I don't understand. What would be the beginning of all of this?
This. I don't know, Remy. Right now, I'm confused a little. So, all this stuff. This explains why the Queen said you are not from here. And now we have to go back to the beginning? Where is the beginning exactly? Where did this all exactly start?
The Techian again shakes her head. This is not something I know. And not something easily found. However, considering your connection with this group, one among you may know the answer.
Well then, looks like we need to ask the rest. See what we can find out, Remy.
The room begins to come back into focus. The kind of ethereal feeling that you were experiencing begins to diminish. And the large room begins to come back into view. And as the ethereal smoke dissipates, and now you've returned back to the normal world. We hope this is of some help to you. Although, this information, it is quite dangerous. And you are treading upon actions that may be more dangerous than you realize. Tread carefully. The Ahamkar are very, very dangerous beings. And the Techian steps back. Remy just looks over to you, Alright, so we need to find out where the beginning is.
Yes. Why don't we see about heading back to the rest? Maybe there will be more insight there. Do we want to let them in on every detail here?
Well, if we're gonna see this through to the end, they need to know as much as you do.
Yes. Why don't we get ready to head back?
She nods, and you guys will begin to make your way back. So with that, we are gonna move over to Theo.
Yeah.
All right. Now, Theo, I'm trying to refresh my memory again here too because I just have my little bits of notes here. So you did have your conversation with Amelia.
Yeah, in which we discussed about the chip in my head, in which it's fused to my head now, and because it's broken, I could potentially just fry at any moment, per se, if I have too much of an electric shock. And the only way to really get rid of it would be to go to the place where I was created, being the Deep Stone Crypt, in which there I could restore it, which in the after effect of things could restore my memory as well.
All right. So do you just make your way there? Because you do somewhat remember where you did previously enter into the Deep Stone Crypt, but you didn't access the deeper parts of the structure. But you know at least know your way to get there.
Yeah, it's more of how do I want to go about this? Because I feel like I need a safety protocol if something goes bad.
Um.
So I did kind of want to ask, is it? Well, actually no, because I do have Nova,
Mm-hmm.
because I would like for Nova to, like, if I do end up losing my memory, to send out a call to the team, since I'm most likely going to need a pickup.
Okay. So you're gonna be. Um. Are you just like setting up like kind of a if something happens to me situation or like
Yeah, if like something happens to me, then at least the others will know.
okay, because I mean the way this would happen, like if in a worst case scenario, like something happens to you, Nova could still leave the Deep Stone Crypt and essentially go get everyone to come and help you. So like if like I said, if in the absolute worst case, Nova could still most likely escape and contact everyone else.
Yeah.
Okay. So you basically kind of set up this like a little emergency protocol if something does happen to go awry. But um outside of that, like did you want to try and set up anything else or was that the only thing you were concerned with, I guess?
Well, let's. Well, that is more or less my only concern, because I also don't want to have that worry for Amelia. That's why on top of it, I probably wouldn't do this in the same room as her, since I because at least then she won't know I'm already preparing for the worst.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, because this is just something you would just be discussing with Nova. Just be like, in the case of like situation A happens, this is what you do. Like, you just outline it between the two of you. Um,
As well, I guess, as well as like another safety protocol, because I assume that he could get away from me without having to be recalled, right? Or
I mean, yeah, he's got like general movement, and he can, if he needs to get away, he can float away and do whatever he needs to do as a ghost.
because what I more mean, like, if I'm too deep in and there's enemies that I can't handle, Nova can escape and call for the others. Because even if I die, I could still be revived.
Mm-hmm.
However, with Nova, he cannot.
So it's more of like for Nova's protection versus yourself.
Well, yeah, I am a protector, and that doesn't go for just guardians. It goes for my ghost. Well, any ghost.
Nova might feel the same way, though, and might not be so willing to just abandon you like that.
I mean, it's either that he calls for the others, or we both die down here.
Mm-hmm. But in the case of Nova, Nova's gonna be like is just as concerned for you as you are for him. They like because you two have been together for quite a while, so you obviously look out for each other. And even though you're telling Nova like, you know, if this situation happens, you need to go, you need to leave me to go get the others. Nova still feels apprehensive about doing that for obvious reasons. But Nova will will comply and do what needs to be done.
See, because I don't really need weapons. I don't exactly expect to fight, but I'll still be bringing the weapons I have. I don't need to bring anything new.
I wouldn't expect anything less from a Titan.
Well, I still gotta expect like possible forces that will try to stop me.
Absolutely. So, yep, you carry everything with you, your normal loadout for anything else, unless you wanted to add in something else before you left. But you'd have to swing by the last city if you wanted to pick up something additional.
Anything additional.
Because you're not really gonna find any better equipment around Stonehorn. I mean, everyone's equipment is good for what they need, but for your needs, you need something of a higher quality if you want an improvement.
And I can't exactly get a upgrade to my combat protocol since that can only really be done at the deep stone.
Yep. So that portion you gotta take care of on the trip itself.
And I would say upgrade my my relic armor, but I don't think I will have the glimmer for that or the materials.
Not particularly.
We also just haven't gotten a substantial amount of glimmer in quite a while.
Yeah. So I think for the most part that's it's only the protocols that I'm really worried about. So
Okay. All right. So if you've got all your affairs in order, then we can move you out to the Deepstone Crypt.
yep, time to roll.
Okay. So, as you and your ghost depart, and you make your way out to Europa, it is pretty quiet. You can't quite feel the cold, but you know it's pretty cold as you're looking about, and it's just a field of ice. You see some the same structures that you had came by in your previous visit. Coming back to the place here seemed like the most logical place to start. You're not exactly sure how to get down to the bottom to where you need to go, but at the same time, you feel like you're walking into a memory. It's a bit of a similar feeling you had the first time you were here. It's like it's itching at the back of your mind. Like you feel like you remember this place, and yet you can't seem to find that memory within yourself. So you and your ghost begin to walk into this building, and you step out from the outside cold and begin your way through these long, clean metal hallways. And walking through this place, walking down these long tunnels, you continuing to make your way down these long ramps. And they just continue to go down and down and down. But you do eventually come to a set of fairly large blast doors that are closed and sealed. I'd like for you to make a perception check.
Number one. Nice.
8. That sure is a door. It looks like a big locked door. Nova is gonna kind of take a look around. You see him to start to scan the door and starts to scan some of the side paneling. You see Nova start to fire little beams of light into one of the consoles, and it starts to light up and start to come alive. I might be able to open this. Give me just a minute.
Take your time. Not like we're going anywhere else.
So you kind of turn back and look down the hallway as you're waiting. There's no lights on yet. It's still pretty dark, but with your vision, you can see everything here pretty clearly. There's just enough light in here for your optics to pick up everything in here. Something about this place just sends a cold chill right down your spine. And even though you don't have organic senses, that feeling of that chill is still very, very real and very present.
All of this just seems too familiar.
Nova just responds, "Well, this isn't your first time being here. And I'm not counting the time we were here before."
I kinda had that feeling that I may have been here before, probably in a last memory cycle.
Well, I'm not sure Theo 10 might have taken this place with such optimism.
In any regard, at least we're making progress.
You hear some metal shifting and kind of breaking through ice as the doors and just slowly pull their way open. You see some ice kind of shaving off the bottoms of the door as they're slowly pulled open. And it's another long ramp that goes down. But looking down this hallway, you can't quite see the bottom. It's pretty dark, and it's a very long way down. Well, that's not ominous.
I mean, regardless, we got our way in. I'll start
Well,
going.
if there's any consolation, I'm not detecting any sort of life forms down there.
Then again, I don't think we'd be looking for life forms, but artificial life.
That's a little harder to detect, so either way, be on your guard. I'm not exactly sure if we're completely safe down here.
I'm always on my guard.
Nonetheless, I still gotta remind you anyway. And Nova just, he disappears into your pack again.
Alright, I shall go ahead and progress on through.
Alright, so you're walking down this long ramp. It does take roughly about a minute or so before you do eventually see a turn in the ramp. And it's a full 90-degree turn off to the left. One thing you notice, I won't even have you roll for this. As you're walking down these hallways, this place has been, sealed for a pretty long time, but you'd still think that there'd be like layers of dust or even just little bits of dirt. The floors look spotless. They look clean, like no one's been down here for a very long time, in which, even if that weren't the case, you'd still think this place would have like even just layers of dust for how long it's been. No. It's like surgically clean down here. And you make your way eventually into a large open room that has what look like various computer servers and large towers with lights that are flashing and blinking. Nova pops out again and looks around. I think this might be central processing. So if we're needing to go further down, I can't quite get a good scan of the area. Hang on a second. And you see Nova kind of move off to one of the computer servers, and you see him start to... He goes over to one of the panels, and his eye is flashing, and he's starting to try to get some data from the servers. Just a second, I might be able to at least get a map of the structure and further down. Classified. It's some pretty old encryption. I can probably crack this here in maybe a minute.
Alright, you do that, and I'll be on the watch out in case there's some sort of protocol that activates this as a hack in.
With that, roll another perception for me.
Fucking called it. 14, at least better.
Yep, 14, that's good. So, with a 14, you're looking around and you're hearing the sounds of these servers, the computers, the little bit of whirling of the cooling fans, but they're not moving incredibly fast, especially given the temperature of the room itself. But it feels a bit like it's all kind of cold storage. There's nothing really remarkable about the room itself, but again, it's the color palette, it's the cleanliness of the room. Something about all of this is just feeling, again, uniquely familiar to you. But it's at the back of your mind. You don't know why you remember this. You don't know how you remember this. You just know that you do. And as you're looking around, you do actually start to hear something. You hear the faint sound of music.
Nova, do you hear that?
Hear what?
Music. There's music playing.
I'm not detecting any audio playing anywhere. You sure you're hearing it correctly?
Yeah, just give me a sec. As can I kind of pinpoint where the sound might be coming from?
Um, no, actually. You're hearing it. It's faint, but it sounds like it's all around you. You can't exactly pinpoint any direction that it's coming from.
Hmm.
It's still too faint to really recognize anything from it, but you hear little notes. Very soft notes. That even though you can't quite hear the entire piece, you're still hearing something that it's triggering something in your memory. But it's not quite there yet. Nova does eventually gain a a full map of the facility, and Nova kind of floats back over to you. Well, um, I'm not sure if this is where we need to go, but there's a place down below, um, clarity control.
Okay. Do you have a map of where it is?
Well, we still have to work a little ways further down. Um, I'm just not exactly sure if that's where we need to go, but I can't imagine you really have any better idea.
I mean, it's our only current lead, so might as well follow it.
Oh, this structure is so massive too. I mean, I can't believe how far down it goes. I the amount of time it would take to build something of this size is I I can't imagine.
I
But
mean, if you can consistently make people to help with the construction, I don't see it taking that long.
I don't think you're fully grasping just how big the structure is. As far as we've been going down, and we've been going down for a while, we've only scratched the surface. This facility goes way, way further down. Like miles and miles down. It's, well, nothing short of an engineering feat to say the least, but. Um. The only place I can at least figure out where we might be able to get at least some information is a place called Clarity Control. But I can't really access a whole lot of information about what Clarity Control actually is. A lot of it seems to be classified, and I can't break through this level of encryption.
Hmm.
I
Uh,
mean, if I had someone who was a little bit more fluent in breaking into computer systems, I might be able to get a little more information, but I mean, we're here now, so we might as well just go down there, right?
Yeah, though I do have a wandering thought, in
Mhm.
which I'm gonna go towards the terminal. You said that it needs a certain clearance to be able to get the information.
It's locked down pretty tight, and the encryption protocols in it are highly advanced.
Considering that I'm most likely a one of a kind, do you think I might have authority?
Well, authority might not necessarily be the correct term, but you you might have access to certain things that maybe I don't. I mean, it's worth, I guess, giving it a shot, right?
Yeah, and only one way to find out. So when I get, yeah, I guess just extend the cable and get myself in.
All right, so the moment that you insert the jack into the port, a memory comes back to you. You are sitting in an office facility, sitting in front of a man in the moment you don't really recognize. But he's talking a lot of technical jargon to you, which in that moment you're not entirely paying too much attention on. He's speaking a lot of scientific terminology to you that is just it's going right over your head, and you're tuned out at this point, but you're kind of just sitting there like half listening to this guy, and he's talking about something. He's mentioning military experience, your qualifications that allow you into this unique program. And that because of his military service and experience, they're liking for you to accept the terms of a specific deal.
Alright, just lay it on me.
He's handing you a data tablet, and you're not in control of this. You're kind of seeing this through your own eyes. But as you reach out and you grab this pad, you see a human hand. You see a large human hand. Reach out, and he grabs the tablet. You see paragraphs and paragraphs of information, and you just see yourself somewhat sifting through it. Everything appears to be on the up and up. So when do we get started? The memory fades to black. And you are now finding yourself accessing through the computer systems. In the moment, you're not finding any particular ways to gain further entry, but as you start to look further into clarity control, the doorway's unlocked for you. You didn't do anything to unlock it, though. You merely accessed the information for clarity control with your login information, and the door is open for you. You hear the shifting of metal just as doors open in the far back room. And there's a fairly bright light coming through there. This section seems to be illuminated with power running.
All right. At least we got further access now.
All right. Nova just kind of floats back over to you. What exactly did you do?
I honestly don't know. I did have her experience something.
Oh,
A memory.
a memory?
I was human. I mean, of course I kind of figured I was human, but actually seeing my own flesh was weird in a sense.
You had a memory of when you were human.
Yes, and I was talking to someone about a experiment. Uh, apparently I had military training, I guess, which explains why I'm such a good fighter.
Nova kind of looks down that illuminated hallway a little bit nervously. Well, I feel like we're about to either do something really profound or something incredibly stupid.
Why not both?
Well, either way, we're doing it together.
That much I can agree on.
All right, and the two of you will start to make your way down the illuminated hallway.
I was gonna say I'm gonna step away because I'm gonna grab food.
I was just going to say I'm going to be transitioning over to you guys.
So you're
Um,
Oh,
staying.
it's not gonna take me too long. It's just going to the door and picking it up from somebody.
That's fine. It's just we'll move over to Bork.
Yes, hello.
I'll move over to you. So, you've gained your information regarding Thorn. So at the moment here, you're back in the last city. Is there
I thought I went
anything
to
that you,
Io. Didn't I go straight to Io to?
well, you did to meet with the Drifter, but or did you want to do something after you left there, like immediately, or did you want
I
to?
thought I thought I went straight to Io to like prepare for the ritual or whatever. Like
Oh, I thought
sent out like extras.
you're going back for the rest of the team so you can get everyone else to
Oh,
help
okay.
out.
I
Well,
I
unless
was
you
under
want to
the
do it by
impression that
yourself, like you can do that too if you want to.
yeah,
But
I
I
was
thought,
under the impression that she went to like prepare and then sent a message to the others like, "Hey, I'm gonna be on Io. I would appreciate some assistance." But if
okay, yeah, well, because I don't think we actually ironed out that detail because I know we ended with you saying that you wanted to wait for the rest of the team, so they can help you with cleansing the weapon, and that's where we just kind of left off with that. So.
okay, yeah, that was just bad communication on my part. I apologize.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean,
Cool.
if you wanted to go to Io and then prepare something there, you can do that. Or, like I said, if you want to go back to Earth and wait for everyone there, you can do that as well. So
Yeah,
I'll leave.
we'll swing by the last city to let everyone know in person, and then try and get like a group together.
Okay, so you'll make your way back to the last city then, um, and you'll make your way back over to the bar. At the moment, there are some people sitting around the bar. They're having their meals. It's not at full capacity, but there's a fair amount of people kind of sitting around there. And immediately as you're walking in, you do see Barton behind the bar.
Okay. Ash is gonna grab a seat at like the bar itself. And like order a drink. Prepare herself mentally for what she's
Yeah.
about to.
So Barton will just kind of walk by to you. Ash, welcome back. What can I get for you?
Something strong. I'm about to do something that may be very stupid.
Well, I know you exos require a certain level of strength, so for you, I might have just the thing. And you see him kind of go down into the bar. You're hearing different glass bottles kind of getting shifted around, and eventually he reaches into the far back of the cabinet and he pulls out a clear glass bottle with a very fluorescent blue liquid. He pulls out the bottle and sets it down. There's a little bit out of the bottle. It's already been opened, and he sets down kind of a small glass and pours a couple of shots into the glass and slides it over to you. Give this stuff a whirl. I know some of you exos tend to find this flavor with a bit of a kick.
All right. Ash is just gonna go for it.
All right, make a Constitution roll for me.
Yeah. 19.
19. Okay, yep. You down this, and it is got a rather electric taste to it, and it's quite satisfying.
I will happily take more of that.
Yeah, I always heard this was one of Cade's favorite beverages. He's kind of got a little bit of pull with some of the people around here, and I was at least able to snag a bottle.
Very good.
So, where's everyone else? I know Elias is kind of in the back working on some stuff at the moment, but everyone else is kind of off doing their own thing.
I don't know. I pretty much immediately left to go meet with someone. I needed information, they had it, and it's definitely something.
Well, fair enough. So I assume you did find what you're looking for then, yeah?
I hope so. It's my only lead at this point, and I need this to work. I'm going to be frank. This is a matter of me losing my mind or not. If this doesn't work, the only way to solve this problem is to just end it and not let Dragonfly bring me back.
Martin's brow just kind of raises a little bit.
Alright, then.
If you don't mind me asking, what exactly are you trying to do? Because you're talking of, like, going crazy and this sort of whispers and things. Like, I'm not real privy on what's all happening. I hear things.
Have you heard of the Titan Dredgen Yor?
Dredgen Yor. That's an older name, I know that. See, he was in the city around the time of my father. Wielded a sickly looking hand cannon. Forgive me, my memory on that kind of history is a little fuzzy.
That's fine. It may as well be ancient at this point. I fought him once. And when I did, I noticed his hand cannon. Now, it's not exactly a well kept secret that I am knowledgeable, let's say, on the Hive. I thought it may be a good idea to try and replicate that weapon, and I succeeded. Now, I failed to take into account the fact that Dredgenyor went crazy. The gun began to influence him. And I am reaching that point. I'm not there yet. It's gradual, but if I don't solve this problem soon, I will be beyond the point of no return. I refuse to let myself become like him. But I have to. It's too late to simply get rid of the weapon. And even if I could, I wouldn't want to. It's dangerous enough in the hands of someone like me who understands hive magic and the power of this weapon, but when I think about the concept of some unknowing guardian finding this weapon and making it a part of themselves, I could not let that happen.
So while you're having this conversation with Barton, Elias, you are at the bar currently, and you are coming in from the back, and you see Ash and Barton up at the bar having this conversation with other patrons sprinkled around the rest of the bar, all eating different meals.
I was gonna say, do I overhear any of the conversation?
You would have overheard like the last couple of sentences that were said in that conversation.
That's Ash is kind of close to going crazy, but not exactly there yet.
Yep.
I I just walk up behind Ash and put my hand on her shoulder and go, "You're not gonna go crazy. You're gonna be fine. And even if for some reason you do have to no longer be revived or whatever, I will throw that fucking gun into the sun. So nobody else can find it."
I don't think that'll be necessary. I met with someone. He gave me plans for a ritual I can conduct on Io to maybe cleanse the weapon.
Well, still, even if for some reason ungodly that plan fails, still have to have a backup plan.
Of course. I will trust you to throw this gun into the sun if it doesn't work, but
Yeah, if push comes to shove.
I think it can work, but I'm gonna need some help, which is why I came back. I need if anybody on the team is at all available to join me, I could use the help.
At the moment, it's just me here, but I don't know where the other idiots are.
Paradox just will pop out from your pack. No, I can fill you in on that anyway. For the moment, Remy and Uros are making their way back to Earth as we speak. Theo is on Europa. Nah, that's kind of odd.
Why the fuck is he on Europa?
I'm not exactly sure. I just lost comms with Nova a little while ago. All I heard was that they were going to a place called the Deepstone Crypt. I think he's mentioned it before. I think he said he was there at once before, right?
I just look at Ash. Ever heard of it?
I mean, pretty much every exo knows about it. We get visions sometimes, memories, I guess.
Hmm.
I don't know much though. It's not my
Should
area of
it be a
expertise.
concern that he's there by himself?
Rumor is it's where exos came from and where we were first, I suppose, devised, if not created. It could be an issue, but I don't know.
Last time we were on fucking IO, or not IO, Nessus, we had to fight a fucking giant Hydra.
I don't even know where this thing is. So even if it was trouble, assuming he's found it, we may not be able to help him.
Fair.
Martin just kind of scoots in a little bit. So, that place, you said the Deep Stone Crypt. Well, if Nova was in contact with your ghost, I mean, you could sort of piggyback off of where he was last located and kind of go from there if you want to go find him. I mean, it makes sense. You guys don't seem too worried about that, though, so...
I mean, like I said, I don't know how dangerous it is. It could be immensely dangerous, but it could also just be a factory.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Okay.
Well, I'd say with a name like that, I'd say it's certainly more than a factory.
I still
He-
don't like just leaving him to his own devices solo. Even if it is a friendly location.
Morton he pulls a small little data pad from his back, and you see him start to open it up, and he starts sifting through some information. I feel like I know that name from somewhere, though. Like I've heard it. Deepstone Crypt. Oh. Braytech. That's why I know the name. He puts the pad away. Your friend may or may not be in trouble. If he's
Why,
down there by
what's-
himself, let's just say what I've heard of Braytech is a little more disturbing than most people tend to know. Like, I'm not trying to be offensive to Exos or anything as he's looking at you, Ash, and like not trying to
All offense taken.
you're human. You don't know. You don't know what these guys know. And unfortunately, some of the stuff that I know. There's a lot of speculation about how Exos came to be, but all of them that will talk to you mention the same thing. This place called the Deepstone Crypt. And mention of some lullaby that they hear.
From what I know, the accounts of the Deepstone Crypt range from a paradise to a living hell. And considering what little I do know about Clovis Bray and his corporation, it may be closer to the latter.
Well, Shax's account of the Deep Stone Crypts, from what they at least have in the archives, is certainly interesting. Mentions that going to a tower, trying to fight his way up the tower, but he's fighting not like Vex or Hive or anything like that. He's fighting his friends. He remembers fighting Ikora and Zavala and fighting people he was closest to and losing over and over and over again. But in that same dream, he mentions hearing this lullaby. It frankly, I don't understand what any of it means, but I'm just going off of what his accounts say. This Deepstone Crypt might be much more than meets the eye, and especially given what I've heard about Braytech, I'm not going to be surprised if there's something much more sinister and dangerous down there than even Theo can recognize.
It just clicked in my head. I look at Paradox. Do we have Elsie's frequency still?
I do still have the radio frequency from what she contacted me with. I can maybe try to raise her.
Yeah. Ask her real quick. Or see if you can get her.
Alright, well, what exactly am I asking, though?
Possibly the location of the Deepstone Crypt. Who else? Because what is her last name?
Oh. Oh. Okay.
Back.
Let me try then. And you see Paradox just kind of turn away from you a little bit, and you hear little bits of computating noises from the shell. Well, she's not immediately answering on comms, but I am at least registering a signal.
Oh, that means she's probably receiving, but not answering. Just keep pulsing her with a signal, I guess.
Yeah, I'll let you know whenever I get a response back, but I'll keep trying as much as I can. In the meantime, Paradox just kind of looks back over to you. Are we just waiting for the others?
Yeah, basically for the time being.
Alright. At this point, Diabla and Eros and Remy will all be rejoining the rest of the group.
Yay.
Lovely, more people.
Oh god, it's you.
I'll
All right,
pretend to
so
not
at
be
this
offended.
point, the rest of you all come back together, and this is going to be your time to kind of relay all your info.
Yay.
You guys like to go first, or shall I?
How about you go first?
All right. I think I found a way to stop everything that's happening to me. Stop myself from becoming your.
Well, that is good.
I met with someone. he gave me an outline for a ritual I can perform on Io to cleanse the weapon. Keep it from influencing me like it has been.
Better fucking work. Especially if you have to fly all the way out to Io.
Polaris will actually pop out from your pack Diablo, and this actually will look over to everyone. What exactly is on Io?
It's the last place the traveler touched before the collapse. It was there to terraform the planet when everything happened and it retreated back to Earth. At least that's what the logs that I found say.
Oh, I remember reading about that in the Cryptarchy. It's considered to be a rather sacred place to you warlocks, from what I understood.
I wouldn't know. I'm not exactly a average warlock, I guess you could say.
Oh, well, I can sort of fill you in then. Well, it's a lot like what you said. It's the last place that the traveler touched before retreating back to Earth. Because it's the last place the traveler touched, it's considered to be rather sacred and, for lack of a better term, a holy place to the warlocks. Ikora visits there frequently. It's a bit of part of a meditation, I suppose. You'd have to ask her what she really saw in that. That's not exactly reported in logs or anything, but I just know that she and other warlocks have been out there frequently, and somewhat of a meditation or a pilgrimage or something along the lines.
I mean, if other warlocks think believe it to be that kind of sacred, it's probably my best bet. I mean, it already was, but
Elias would actually be familiar a little bit more intimately with the details of Io.
Yes, I have vacation home there.
Well, not only that, but your connection with the Vanguard, you do know that it's exactly like what's being described. It is like somewhat of a holy place, just because it is the last place the traveler touched. But not only that, there is a powerful residual feeling of light in this place, which makes it kind of give that feeling, like it kind of give it the gravitas that it is kind of laid upon it. Is that light that's residual there is very strong, and it gives warlocks like yourselves kind of that perfect place to be reflective and to reflect inward with the power of the light surrounding you.
I'm just thinking about it, and I'm asking out of character.
Mm-hmm.
Is Asher Mir there?
You would not really know because you've never met him in person, but you do know of those like him who are scribes and knowledge seekers. And to be honest, I'd have to look into Ashramir because I don't remember when his arm turned, so I don't know where that happened in the current timeline. So I'd have to.
It would be.
It happened in the
time.
Pyramidion prior to the events of the Red War.
Yeah, so he would be there technically.
Okay. But yeah, in character, you wouldn't know that personally because you don't know who he is, but you do know of his group that are like that. So you would at least, you might know of him, but you've never met him personally.
Yeah. Oh god.
Remy just kind of sits down in one of the stools and she's kind of hunched over a little bit. Well, I kind of found out a little bit more about myself. I don't know if it's exactly a good or bad thing, but I kind of have the answers to how I got the marking on my back.
You don't sound thrilled.
Well, it was something I made in my previous life. And I don't know how to feel about that. I was kind of under the impression that this was, well, to be honest, I really didn't know what it was. I thought it might have been, forced upon me, but that turns out not to be the case at all. And it turns out that it was something of my own making.
And I put it on her. Well, my alternate version put it on her. Uh,
I'm sorry, back up. Did you say your alternate version?
yes, Elias, Theo, and I encountered when we were dealing with Godhand our alternate selves, and my alternate selves told me about this marking, and Remy learned about it when we went to see the Queen, and we both learned a lot. And I just look at Remy briefly and then look back. That I came to her, she had, or her other self had this ability, and the only way was for me to put it on her. And this is not me now, it's whatever version of me that put it on her.
DB kind of pops out and kind of will help fill in the gaps. So, I'm sorry, I know I've been a little quiet, but I can kind of explain a little better.
Go for it, little buddy.
She, DB will kind of move a little over to Diablo. Basically, we came from the past. And I know we've kind of detailed that before, but to be a little more specific, we came from a time in which we faced an Ahamkara that had changed the timeline. Because he came from the future. So, let me frame it this way. The enemy that we faced came from a future timeline in which it succeeded. But there was rebellion. The Uros of that timeline was still somewhat himself and created a plan in which he would kill Godhand, or at least create a method in which to kill him. That led to the path that created Remy. Or at least that's what we had believed. what we learned is that it was more of a collaborative effort. He was looking for a god killer weapon in the form of old magic, something from the old world prior to the traveler's arrival. So this old version, this alternate version of Uros went back in time before the traveler's arrival looking for this weapon and found her before she became a guardian. This led to this entire, I guess, quest that led to us believing that maybe it was something enacted upon her and forced, where that really wasn't the case. And now we've kind of learned that we need to go back to the beginning if we want to truly end what God Hand did. But we're not exactly sure what that means.
So when you say beginning, is that what you're referring to? Is that you don't know what it means to go back to beginning in order to end this God Hand, dude?
All we know is that if we want to truly end what he's done, there's one way to do it, and that is just to go back to the beginning and stop it. But we don't really know what that means, to go to the beginning. What was the beginning?
My first assumption was to go back to the beginning of God Hand. Like, what made God Hand? But
Well,
I
we
know.
know that it was a combination of Elias and Ahamkara, and a situation in which he was running from the darkness. But when that was, how long ago that is into the future, I mean, that's just the details we don't know. We know what the event is, but we just don't know when it happens or what led to that scenario.
I just start fucking giggling. You know, we could always just go back in time and strangle me as a child. That just ends all possibility. Just, concertina wire.
Paradox
To
just
be
chime
fair, he
in.
trained you as a
That's
child.
not how time travel works.
Also, even if it was how time travel works, you would still probably become a guardian. That wouldn't solve the problem. That would just make it so.
And in doing
you're
so,
now a
you would
child.
only create an alternate timeline in which you didn't exist.
It's still a funny thought.
It wouldn't affect this timeline in any way. It would only affect the timeline that that one would be in which case...
Out of
well,
character.
you know that wouldn't work. You know that wouldn't.
I know, I'm saying it as a smartass thing.
And but Paradox is addressing you that way.
Paradox genuinely
I'm
thinks
gonna-
you're stupid.
I'm gonna say that Elias has seen fucking Infinity War, and he was like, no, we'll just go back and kill baby Thanos.
You know that's not how time travel works.
First off, that's morbid. You gotta admit, that's a very Elias type conversation to drop, though.
Oh yeah, it very much is.
That was a fucking doozy of a conversation. I don't think I ever want to think about time travel again.
Well,
But
DB just
it's-
kind of looks at you. Well, welcome to the last several.
How do
Well,
we feel? We had to live this shit.
yeah,
Wait, what?
we've been living it for. I mean, what to us might feel like a year, but I mean, in reality, we jumped over 100, so we've kind of been at this for a long time, even though we technically haven't been at this a long time. I mean, if you really count the time jump, then we really did kind of go a long time, but we've really only been at this for maybe a year.
It's confusing, I know.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's funny as shit trying to explain it to people and watch your head spin.
Yes.
I sometimes miss when it was just me buying a hive corpse off, or buying a thrall corpse off these people.
Oh yes, those days when you could buy
What?
a corpse off someone. Ah, yes.
I thought it was obvious. I do research on the hive.
No, I wonder whatever happened to your original apartment. Did it get condemned for hive bodies? Like, I got to report on that.
If I remember right, didn't the building get, this is out of character, didn't the building genuinely get like
Oh yeah, it got demolished.
quarantined or
Oh yeah, like
something?
your building did get condemned.
Yeah, no,
but
it kind of got condemned because of all the hive stuff.
Yes, there was many.
We're not going to talk about it.
Man, I gotta
But-
ask, how many people did you technically make homeless?
Ouch.
well, I mean,
completely honest, I have
they
no
did
idea.
build
My
a bigger,
neighbors
better
hated
building
me.
on top of it. So I mean, did they really lose much?
No, it's
How much are those new apartments costing?
Yes.
The hive corpses caused them to gentrify the neighborhood.
Jeez.
The housing market
There's
in the
like
last
3
city right now is
Starbucks in a 50-meter
crazy.
radius.
Somehow it's the apartment, or somehow it's the apocalypse, but landlord somehow still exists.
Oh,
So I guess in spirit of sharing information, there's one thing that I haven't told the group. During the fight against that big cabal dude, I never did get his name.
Gary.
Oh, Gary.
George?
His name is Gary now. That make it easier? It's
I
okay.
hope somebody realizes the reference.
Yeah,
that
no, I
Babe!
understand. I understand that.
No, dear. That's an actual thing that Cade said about Gall's name.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no
Gary.
shit!
Yeah, yeah.
For Destiny
Gary.
Noah.
His name is
What?
Gary now.
Gary.
Gary the Gall.
Hold on.
There it is.
Hold on.
I wonder if he painted the hull chartreuse to paint it.
There it is. Apologies. Continue.
Anyways. I was visited by the Ahamkara. It tried to make a deal with. Give me a sec.
It made a deal with it.
I like Gary better.
Something got caught in my throat.
Embrace the
I didn't know Exos
darkness.
could choke.
Embrace the darkness, and then you'll find your answer.
And the Ahamkara tried to make a deal with me. It offered to give me all the information I ever wanted. The information I desired. But I said no. But then it's led me on this rabbit trail of learning about the Ahamkara. And then learning a little bit more about this god hand that you guys fought a while back. And this story with Remy. has shed a lot more light upon the uh trials, adventures, whatever you want to call it.
Would you call
You've
it the Trials
had
of Osiris?
what?
Then would you call it the Trials of Osiris?
Shut the fuck up.
Hey, yo, write that down. Write that down.
Does it just start time?
That's a good idea. Write that down.
Write it down. Write it down.
Ooh, good one.
Though I feel like there is still a lot of information that you guys have been hiding from me. You have given me a very shortened version of the story, but I feel like that there's a few more details that I might need to know if I'm still going to be in the fire team. But if you guys aren't willing to share those details for whatever reason, I do understand.
I'm okay with it. Ask questions.
Good. Ask away. Here's a drink. Let's talk.
What the, like, how the hell did you guys even encounter God Hand in the first place?
I blame Elias.
What's y'all's beef with him?
DB just kind of looks over at Earls. Well, started in old Chicago, a long time ago.
Chicago.
Shut up. Stop.
We were on an investigation, and we just had this encounter with him in the city, and well, he wiped the floor with two of us
Yes, literally.
before he made an escape, and then we uncover this whole plan that he used with this old corporation from the Golden Age. It wasn't a major one, Genesis. They were involved in a new colony project similar to the Exodus project, but in addition to colonization, they wanted to have the ability to terraform a dead world, to potentially just create a new home if they weren't able to find one within a suitable time. The project was eventually a failure and was never included into the Exodus program. But the unit itself that would be used to terraform had the power to literally reset the world. And he had attempted to use this on Earth in old New York. That led to a big fight that we managed to stop him on. Sorry, I keep seeing the messages you guys are putting in Discord, so I'm being distracted. So we put a stop to that plan, and we stopped the Genesis device. But it turns out that that was actually a distraction towards a bigger plan. He wanted us to be focused on one area when his true goal was to infiltrate another. He found his way into the Awoken's, I guess, homeworld. Well, it's not really a homeworld. He looks to Eros. It's more like a pocket dimension. What did you call it again? The distributary?
Yes. It works.
And DB just kind of turns back to you, Diablo. So he broke into the Awoken um, place, and he absorbed knowledge and power over time inside the distributary that led him to gain the power to time travel.
Also, is that how he time travels?
So the what started this, and DB kind of looks over to Elias, is that a long time ago, or rather, sometime in the distant future, the darkness comes and, for whatever reason, forces Elias to be on the run. And while he's on the run, somewhere on Venus, he comes across this Ahamkara skeleton. And the way we understood it is that in a desperate and panicked moment, he wished for incredible speed to try and get away. And in doing so, the skeleton fused into his body and created the God Hand that we know.
So,
Hi, yes, it's me. I'm the problem.
so all because Elias wished for speed, and I'm remembering from my crash course on Ahamkaras, the Ahamkara twisted the wish to fuse with Elias?
That was the bargain that was made, it seems. In order for him to gain that speed, his body would need the power of the Ahamkara bones, or something like that. Or perhaps it was the only way that the skeleton could escape its sort of prison. The motives of him aren't 100% clear to us exactly, but we just know certain events kind of fell into place and circumstances led to everything that we know. That's kind of at least the backstory of it, anyway. I'm a little loose on some of the smaller details, but I think that about covers the gist of it. I hope that helps.
That does help a little. Above table, Dave, didn't you mention a couple sessions ago through Polaris about a curse
Mm-hmm.
on the fire team?
It was a hypothesis that Polaris did present that maybe it is a curse. There's no definitive proof to it. It was a hypothesis that Polaris had.
Okay. So then in that case, Diablo is going to keep that thought to herself for now until she knows a bit more information.
Okay.
But considering the encounters with God Hand, she's not going to rule it out as a possibility. Or she's not going to rule that out.
Yeah, I gotcha. If you have any other questions, though, this would be the time to ask.
So technically, y'all are still fighting God Hand.
Well, technically, we did already kill him.
So then what's the Ahamkara shard doing in... The Ahamkara shard that was in our possession there for a while, what was that about? Was that connected to God Hand?
Paradox will actually will chime in from this time. I might have a little more insight into that. I'm just trying to figure a good way to phrase this.
Just put it bluntly.
Well, let me phrase it this way. With the power that he gained from speed, it's a pretty high probability that with an increased power that he would have gained from his time in the distributary, he might have gained the power to go through time. With that, he spread his influence across major events that he remembered in history, and that in that time where we saw the Cabal gain that power in that fight we were at, Gaul or Gary, whatever his name was, I don't care. That was his influence being spread across time, and he did that before we killed him.
So technically he's still alive, or do we just gotta simply wait out until he actually is dead?
Well, that's the thing. We're not entirely sure.
So in other words, he's kind of like the Vex. Sorry for the shitty man.
Huh.
Yeah, in a way, he's like the Vex because he's like the Vex aren't really dead. However, they're like, I know it's one hive mind and everything, and we've tried to exterminate them before, but it's just not possible. You know, due to the fact that they go through different dimensions. So I'm guessing it's like something similar to that, since he's made so many different, separate timelines, different possibilities. So.
Oh, that's Kitsune. I was wondering who the fuck.
Yeah,
the mouse
I'm
was.
gonna say real quick though. That's gonna be like more of an above game conversation because Kitsune, you're actually where Singe is gonna be at is gonna be a different location at the moment.
Oh, okay, got you.
Yep, but yeah, no, that's fine. Like I said, that's just more of an above game conversation.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make sense overall.
Yeah, I follow you. No,
Yeah.
you're okay.
Huh. So your guys' fight with God Hand is technically not even over until all of his influences across time.
And paradoxes, and you'll have to forgive the expression, but it is paradoxical.
It is big pain in the
Haha.
ass.
Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. Woohoo!
Yeah, I can understand. Wait a minute. So was that God Hand that I encountered?
Maybe. We don't really know.
Possibly.
The Ahamkar that you said you experienced was most likely the very same.
Huh.
Did you give it a hug and say yes?
What? No!
Notice how she got really defensive. I think she did, guys.
This is very
Cooper?
questionable.
So
did she?
She is a big danger.
Yes, big
Traitor!
You gotta put her down. Everybody pull out your guns.
what? No! What the fuck?
Oh, I pulled out a grenade.
I'll take the voices if it means this. It means
To the
this.
stake with me.
Somebody
suffer the
take her
voice.
helmet and make a really cool trophy.
Excuse the fuck out of you!
Lamau.
Oh, hey.
So then Diablo goes into more detail of what exactly happened, how she had like this weird out of body experience, and how it felt. Has anybody else encountered anything similar?
Plenty of times. Every time I go to sleep. Smile.
Well, I mean, we've touched things that made us kind of have out of body experience, but not exactly like that.
Hmm. Well, right now I don't really have any more questions, so I do appreciate you guys being open with me.
Well, sure, we're a team. We
If
just
you ever want to see what the fights looked like from back then against somebody that can move faster than time, you're free to ask about it.
oh yeah. Don't show her the part where I was run down through the street on my face. That hurt.
Hold on. What did you say, Elias?
Oh yeah. It's kind of interesting fighting somebody that can run faster than time. You,
By
you
the way,
think
this whole
we only
but
fought him
through
once?
this by the way, through this whole thing, Tiabla has had her helmet off, and she is staring at Elias with a confused look and slowly blinking, trying to make sense of what he just said.
What? We fought him.
Yes, we did. It was not fun.
For you guys.
Oh yeah, the one who goes through a wall. Hey, let's drop him in. Woo!
Yeah, Mr. Cannonball.
I had a blast.
Yeah,
Literally.
literally. Yes, he did. Yeah, it was fantastic. You should have
God.
seen it. Woo! He made creator.
Holy hell, y'all.
I just fucking have Paradox bring up a bit of footage from back then.
Which fight would you want him to show?
How about
Old,
the one in
old
the street
Chicago
where
or New York?
the one that was in the street and it was like a rolling battle?
Old Chicago. Okay. So Diabla, you see Paradox pull up a holographic vid feed, and you see this this bone-clad armored figure, and you see it move quicker than a blur. It drags one of them across the street, just dragging their face across as it's running through it. You see another one being put into the wall and hit several times at supersonic speed. And you see this thing can barely be perceived by the camera, it's moving so fast. But you're able to even see just the slight trail that it leaves behind.
Holy hell.
Hey, quick, Kitsune, I'm gonna have a little segment here for you at the end, so just hang out, buddy. We'll get you in here in a few.
I'm just reading what you wrote.
He's gone, but not forgotten.
You're gonna have what? A little.
A
I'm
segment for you.
gonna have a little piece here for you before we wrap up, so don't worry.
All right. Don't worry about it. My fault, honestly, too.
Yeah, no worries.
I got distracted by final shape.
I feel you.
How dare you prioritize actual destiny over DN destiny?
I'm sorry. I'm trying to grind that shit, man. I'm trying to calibrate the new exotic.
Damn, prioritizing the grind.
I mean, I'm also doing regular Destiny, and I can still focus.
No, I know, because I was playing Destiny like 3-4 hours before we even started like the
the campaign, and I just got so self-absorbed in it that I fucking didn't even notice the alarm like ring in the background either. So I'm like, oh shit. Until 2 hours later. Because I looked outside and I'm like, oh shit, it's dark. Wait a minute, I had the Destiny today. Oh,
The moment you
I
realize.
I honestly feel that, which is why I have a shit ton of reminders for myself because I'm a dumbass.
yeah.
She has a reminder for the reminder of the reminder.
Actually, yes.
I need to put a reminder in the morning and then a reminder in the afternoon. That's what I should do.
One for when you get off work.
Exactly.
I
Worst
have
part, I didn't even work today. That's why I was grinding Destiny.
All right, but let's continue.
I was
Yep.
gonna say
Alright, yeah,
before we
let's
get
continue, let's
distracted
continue.
anymore. So showing the fight.
Wait, so where am I?
So, Diablo, as you're watching this, I will go ahead and say that you have no comparison to what it is that you're seeing. You know, you've seen Warlocks blink, and that kind of level of traversal is incredibly fast, but this is on a whole nother level of speed that you have never seen before.
Oh. Y'all were not kidding.
I was actually gonna say, hey Theo, you record everything through your eyes, right?
Theo's not there.
Yeah, I'm not there.
Hold
For
on,
one.
Mike. You gotta say that a little louder.
Theo's not
For-
there. He's at
yeah,
the Deep Stone
for-
Crypt right now.
For one, yeah,
Oh
I'm not
shit,
here.
never mind. Actually, my helmet has a camera from back then, if I remember correctly.
You did have a vid feed, but what are you
Um,
looking up exactly?
I'm gonna pull up the day I killed Theo.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
You say that so nonchalantly.
I'm gonna let you describe that, since I feel like you have that memory down pretty well. So
Wow.
I mean,
I'll let you go ahead and tell that story.
to be fair, if I was there, I probably would have also suggested the time I died when Blue brought up the whole dying to a speedster. That's the first thing that came to mind.
I forget. What did you do to piss me off?
I tried to wake you up. You shocked me. I did void energy to you, like small amount of void energy to you. You got pissed, killed me.
Okay, and I'm just gonna bounce off of him to save time. And basically, I just dragged him throughout the base and killed him.
No, you didn't even drag me
No.
through the base.
No.
You literally were so fast that you punched through my arm, like you faced through my armor and killed me.
I thought I beat the shit out of you with like a lot of fucking punches.
Yeah, and my AC did jack all, even though I had nice 19 AC.
But yeah, that's what you see in the video.
Okay, I'm remembering a different time that you killed him then, because that was the time
that's the only time you killed me.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like you woke him up, but I thought that was more like well, because I remember it as like he woke you up, you got pissed, you sonic punched him, you killed him. There was a big boom in the building that kind of shook it, and everyone just kind of like, well, it was those two.
No, it was that I tried to wake him up. He said 5 more minutes. I tried waking him up again. He shocked
No,
me.
you woke him up rudely as fuck, and that pissed him off, and then he hit you with something.
I was being nice in the first part, but then he was like, "Nah, I don't want to get up." So I tried doing it again. Shocked me. So I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna return a favor." Void energy, and then it was like, "Okay, nah, I had enough."
They were being a pair of brothers, like waking each other up.
To be honest, he probably deserved it.
What do you mean? I didn't even start it.
No, not you. I'm talking about fucking Visor. He probably
I
deserved
just
getting
walked
woken up.
away.
I'm the one that killed him. What do you mean?
You probably deserve to be woken up like that rudely.
Wake up, wake up.
Visor will remember this.
Again.
Oh
Remember this.
Again,
no.
This is
I
a
was
well
waking
game.
I was
Visor
waking
will
you up
remember this.
normally, and then you decide, nah, I don't want to get up. You're trying to get me
You
up.
should have
Shocked.
respected the 5 minutes.
No.
You should have just pressed on its
I-
head and reset
your-
the
I ain't your
sleepers.
goddamn parent. You get the fuck up.
And then you should have been waking me up in the first place if you're not my goddamn parent.
Would you prefer I shot a bullet into this guy?
Would you have rather been thrown through a wall?
No, don't
I
tempt
mean,
him
at
with
least then I
fun.
probably would still live.
Parrot actually just turns to you, Diablo. So you can imagine what happened at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine what happened.
Space magic.
I have that device somewhere.
What was that?
I still have that device somewhere.
Ugh.
Like the device that allows me to run faster.
Oh, you still have it?
Yeah. Only problem is it runs on dark or black or dark matter.
Is that hard to come by?
Yeah, kinda.
Well then. Well, any other stories you guys want to tell? Or show? Hold on. Above table, is there anybody else in the room that's needs to share information?
Nope. I think all of you have pretty
Martin's
much
the son of a
covered the
mafia
base.
boss.
Yeah, unless you wanted to ask like detailed questions about something in their backstory, like you've pretty much got the entire gist of the
Okay,
the
yeah.
deal with God Hand.
Also, what did you say, Kaiser?
Barton's the son of a mafia boss.
Nah, not mafia boss, not mafia,
He's
but
the son. He's the son of the homie Malachi.
Yeah, Malachi. Malachi was a mafia boss.
he was an
Malachi,
information
the realest
broker.
one there ever was.
Nah, he was a mafia boss.
Close enough, mafia boss.
He was chill, man.
You say this in character, right?
Yeah. I'm pointing at Barton.
We're all
And again,
And
he's
who's
correcting
who's
you with the
Barton?
same thing I'm telling you. Is information broker.
And your dad dealt guns and shit. He was a mafia boss.
Even if he was a mafia boss, probably shouldn't say it. I think the whole point is to be.
What are they gonna do? Charge a dead man?
I don't know. Charge us for working with him. I don't know if I fucking know. I don't live in this. I don't like operate in the. I haven't operated in the city like before I joined up with you guys. So I'm like.
If anything, you're worse than all of us. You were with that crew before me. Or any of us.
I employed his services. I didn't work for him. I wasn't in his crew per se.
He introduced us to you
Yes.
as one of
because-
his associates.
Yes, that is. I was a customer. What?
He was funding your hive research.
Yes.
So you were somebody that he hired.
Not really. I was independent.
Therefore associated.
He was contracted in?
I didn't work. The main point is I
Anyways,
didn't
potato,
work for him.
potato, patata.
No, we're gonna discuss this a little longer. Let's go for another 20 minutes.
Potato, patata.
Meanwhile, in the Deep Sun Crypt, wow, there's so many fucking traps!
Oh, did you find them all? Shoot.
No, actually, before we wrap up tonight, I do want to get over to Singe. Kitsune.
You're up.
Unmute yourself, sir.
Here comes the boy.
Get him, boy.
Wake the fuck up, you jackass!
Kitsune.
Kitsune, we need
Dead?
your here. Please unmute the microphone.
You were
We're
literally
just gonna
just
skip his
here.
turn.
After he's
Yes.
been here.
Yes, he was just here.
Yeah.
No, he's not.
that's hilarious.
Kitsune. If you're speaking, you
Kitsune.
are muted.
So, who wants to play some poker while he's gone? I suck at this. Who wants to make money off me?
Go back to people robbing people.
Oh, hey, there you go.
You back?
Yep. Sorry. I had to
All right.
stand up for a minute.
Yep. So we're gonna finish here with you. So for you, you and your Vex counterpart have been doing some research.
Ah.
Since the last encounter with Godhand, with Gaul, the Vex mind has been inquisitive as to just how much that influence has spread. And this curiosity has led you to the gate of the infinite forest. So, Singe, you and your ghost are standing at the gate of the infinite forest. And Icarus, I'm sorry, I forgot your ghost. Icarus turns to you and says, "This would be the best place in order for us to find out what we need to know."
But I feel like whatever we find out here is going to
So, bro,
distort.
could you get closer to the mic? I can barely hear you.
Yep, no problem. Is that better?
Yep, much
A
better.
lot
Thank you.
better.
All right. Yeah, but the thing is that I feel like the moment we find out, it'll probably be a bit dangerous, more than a bit dangerous.
Icarus kind of looks to you. Yes, this is going to be very dangerous. In fact, I'm still not sure we really should trust this Vex in your head, but if what we learned is true, Osiris is already in here. And well, if we're ever gonna learn just how much Godhand's influences truly come upon this entire universe, the best place to really figure that out is going to be inside of a Vex simulation system.
It is true. Vexes are the closest thing we have to paradoxes, honestly. So, since they do deal with paradoxes on the daily, so
And
we
if we're going to
no
calculate
choice.
exactly how much he's influenced the universe, and if we can even get any answer out of all of it, this is going to be the place to do it.
That is true. I just hope that we find Osiris in time. We just find Osiris in time and pray that we don't end up, pray to the traveler that we don't end up meeting Godhand in any of his forms, whatever they may be.
Well, given the Vex simulation, I don't know how much they can replicate in Ahamkara. I mean, we already know they struggle to replicate Guardians, so
Even replicating Ahamkaras, like Ahamkaras have mysterious power that we still don't know the limits to at all. It's one of the great mysteries that we just don't know about. So even
they're
if it's just
paracausal beings, just like all of us.
exactly. So I'm worst case scenario would be we end up meeting Godhand. And
But if we're in the Vex simulation, I highly doubt they can recreate wish magic, so
I don't know, I doubt it too, but it's not about Vex the Vexes recreating the wish magic. It's about Godhand finding out what we're doing and interfering with the simulation, with the wish magic. That's what I'm afraid of.
I don't think we have to worry about that, at least in that particular sense. At least what we can garner from in here is maybe how much more influence he's spread across time, and maybe we can even pinpoint where it all began.
This may also have to do with maybe who I am.
Well, we can hope to learn a lot in here, but again, this is going to be dangerous, and there's always the possibility that if we go in here, we might become trapped.
Even so, even if we become trapped, that may be the most, I guess you could say, nonchalant, not caring about much in the group. But still, Guardian gotta do its role.
I understand you might not necessarily have the greatest connection with the group back on Earth, but I think this serves a greater purpose. And this is worth the risk.
Yeah, that is true.
Do you hear sounds in the back of your head as the Vex mind begins to work its magic and the portal door opens up to you? Icarus just turns to you. I'm with you till the end in this.
Same here, buddy. Thank you.
Well, and he slips into your pack. Let's see this through.
Yep. What do you call it? Ready my Vex Methoclast. Nothing like stepping into the unknown, right?
Seems to be what we are best at, isn't it?
That's true. All right, here we go.
Right, and you will walk through the portal, and that is where we end tonight's session.
And scene. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bravo.
Well, I was kind of holding on to that
Hold
until
on.
you actually did come back in, so.
I hope you
Yeah.
hear the round of applause that's happening.
It sounds a lot worse.
I did.
It's a literal round of applause. It was
Around and around.
Thank you.
That just sounds bad.
Only if you
Honestly,
think
this
that way.
reminds
yes, I'm
me-
a professional at bad jokes.
This reminds me how they be ending
God.
like the good seasons in Destiny, kind of. You know what I mean?
With applause.
Yep.
Like with those sires just disappearing for no fucking reason into a portal.
You will disappear. You will return.
Yep, but you are a key link in what's gonna happen going forward.
I am afraid. I am afraid, but courageous. Yeah.
Blurfalls.
I don't got my team to carry me as a world. But yeah. Honestly, we'll be able to. I think I'll be able to be fine. Hopefully, so.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Because you have a Vex companion with you guiding you through the infinite forest, so you
Oh
do
no,
ha-
yeah.
you're gonna have some advantages at least going through there.
Oh yeah. That's like definitely a huge advantage. I'm not really afraid of like getting like lost or anything like that, or not being able to find my way. It's mostly like what I'm about to find. You know?
Oh yeah. And there's
Yeah.
plenty to find in there because you're running through a Vex simulation engine.
Oh, for sure. I mean, thank God I have like more processors than a regular EXO. So,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's not running on 4, he's running
Or
on
that's the
16
thing.
core processors now. Didn't they up that?
He's
to
got that 64 core
Oh yeah, that's
fucking
right.
Threadripper.
Holy crap, there is. Yeah, woo! Oh,
Bro,
hey.
give me that $2,000 processor, bro.
Oh
Man.
god.
And don't worry, next time I'm actually gonna be here at the beginning.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry about that.
Hey, but listen, no worries. Like I kind of anticipated you probably had like some work issue going on, so that's why I kind of had a little story planned for you.
Yeah, I mean, 2 weeks ago I did. Today I didn't. I was just completely distracted by Destiny. That's it.
Yeah.
Basically, he's saying he a bit.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
All I can say is don't mute our Discord server because I will put in alerts every time whenever we're
Oh no,
we're
I
gonna be
don't.
doing
I
it.
just
So
like I don't. I just had Discord closed. That's it.
yeah.
And I
But
ignore
I'll
everything.
just
So
keep it open next. No, the next time I'll put an alarm in the morning, like right when I wake up. So I'll just have to do that.
Yeah.
So, with all that, if anybody else wants to play like us idiots do and be professional about it, sure, we can do that.
We're anything but professional, sir. What are you
Yeah,
talking
That's
about?
what I'm.
So, if you want to
I-
do that, go to
Professional.
Velvet Fang, get your own materials, and run your own games if you would like. Or you can just still follow along with our hijinks and,
Yeah, or join their Discord server because they do run their own campaigns in there as well. So if you want to actually join one of their campaigns as well, join their Discord.
yeah, they got their Discord, they got that other thing, and then they got Twitch, and then YouTube. I didn't say the other one because I don't want to get any arguments on that one again. And if you want to catch any past episodes, like this one will be a past episode after I put it up there, you can catch all the rest and follow along and point out the things in the comments. It's fun. So far, it's been the Rorschach painting of Elias hitting the roof, and I think something I did. I can't remember now. I have to look back through the comments again.
You know, I honestly do kind of want to make that into like a YouTube short.
Yeah.
Listen, man. All the
Um,
we get clips. We can just turn it into YouTube shorts. Honestly.
Oh yeah,
the
well
funny
like
part.
we have a lot of like hilarious moments throughout our campaign, like over a number of seasons of stuff that we could easily just turn into like YouTube shorts.
Exactly.
Like a good point. The Rorschach painting, the blender incident.
Mm-hmm.
Blender incident.
That's more or less what it was. Ruthless and just devastating.
Blender incident.
You killing me.
Oh,
That's more or less what it was.
The
The boys being boys fighting
Yeah.
over.
yeah, there's been, and I mean, there's a lot of stuff in there for everyone to see. And you guys want to say bye? Bye. Okay, they said bye. There.
Bye.
We'll see you next week for
Bye.
Transformers. Get some sleep.
May the common cold guide your heart.
Don't slam your
See
dick
you
in the
next
car
time on
door.
Dragon Ball Z.
Drink the water. Drink the waters.
And I heard what you said, Visor. As always, wherever you are in the world, have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Be safe out there. And come join us next Friday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for Transformers, and then we'll go back to Destiny, then back to Transformers, then back to... Well, actually, we're getting close to wrapping up with Transformers, so... With that, we're getting there. We're getting close. So...
Are we?
Yeah, we actually are.
Mm.
So, with all that, yeah, bye.